What's up, everybody? It's Make It Make Sense, and I know y'all saw this Club Shay Shay interview with Monique, but DL then already responded, so that's what we got to talk about first. So hit that like button as the intro plays because we got a lot to get into. Did y'all hear that? Like the video as intro plays.
I was listening to Make It Make Sense. Shout out to Make It Make Sense. Thank you.
It makes sense to me intellectually.
Sense Mims, who a lot of people have been asking to be on the show.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. You knew what was up.
Big Mims.
Surfer.
Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense.
Trying to open my horizons to vegetables because I'm a pretty picky eater.
You're not a picky eater if you're 600 pounds.
Big Mims.
Surfer.
Anyway, so y'all, Monique did not hold any punches. This interview is exactly what Monique should have been doing with the original interviews. There's something about Shannon Sharpe and the way that he can tiptoe around the beef and stay out of it. DL gets him a little bit in this, but for the most part, shout out to Shannon Sharpe, who is nominated for iHeart Podcast. What's up, Ahova? What DL got to say? A lot. He didn't fat shame Monique, but we're going to get into it. So shout out to Shannon Sharpe. Y'all know he's one of my favorite content creators. What that guy does is nothing short of amazing because he gets in there. He's able to, really get in the mess, but he's not necessarily a messy person. So, it's a gift to do that. But this is what Monique had to say about DL.
Do the family thing.
You don't do the family thing. And I'm going to bring this up. I wasn't going to do it. But damn it, this seat.
I say, you might want to have another
Look, this seat make you go, truth, tell it. No, tell the damn truth. God damn it, tell the truth. Because family is sacred.
It's supposed to be.
And we don't cross the line with family.
Mm-hmm.
And people begin to get comfortable to jump on the Monique bandwagon of Monique doing things wrong. And she doing this and she doing that. And there's a brother named D.L. Hughley.
Yeah.
And until he take accountability, I won't let it go.
What?
Because, what would you get ready to say?
I was going to say, what did DL do?
Let me tell you. Baby, that voice went up, didn't it? DL is friend. He like, that's my friend.
No, I've met DL on several occasions. I don't know DL like that.
Okay.
Do I know DL say like I know an earthquake? No. Do I know, since I've interviewed Kat, had several conversations with him, do I know DL on that level? No.
Right. See, when we say family is sacred,
right?
Family is sacred.
Now, y'all, we're going to get into what exactly happened.
And we know that you don't cross the line when it comes to family.
Correct.
Right? I do DL's radio show.
Yes.
DL Hughley is not there. His team is there. And Shannon, we having a great time. I mean, baby, we having a great time. We going forward, back and forth. When we get to the end of the show, they say, Monique, you want to play a game? Well, I want to play. I said, sure, sugar. Let's play a game. And it's a game called Would You Rather.
Oh.
Okay? Now,
Monique, you should have said I'm too old for this game.
Wait a minute. We're having fun, baby. Right? We're having a good time, Shannon. Okay. It's the sister there and there's two other guys. We're having a great time. It's a beautiful Black unity cookout.
Okay.
We're having a good time.
Okay.
Would you say your wife was your family? Is that considered family?
Yeah.
So your husband is considered family,
Absolutely.
right? Okay. So
let me not lie. When Monique always talks about her husband being her daddy and he's raising her, I have a different interpretation after this interview of what she means, because on the surface, I thought it was weird too. So we'll get into that tomorrow when I go live specifically. So this was a whole 3-hour interview, but there was a whole bunch of juicy tidbits that I had to kind of like extrapolate.
Here we go. They said, Monique, we want to play a game of Would You Rather. Let's go. Would you rather your husband sleep with Lee Daniels with a condom or Corinne Steffens without one?
Now, y'all know Corinne Steffens is not to be messed with. Superhead around here is a national treasure. I have the book. I have her book somewhere over here. But don't mess with Superhead. And that's extra nasty because allegedly Lee Daniels was a germ chaser. Lee Daniels used to go into adult spaces and do things unprotected because he felt like he should have caught something like everybody else. So he was it's like chasing germs. It's actually a thing. So on the surface, it's like, okay, we're talking about Superhead, but it wasn't a funny joke, especially considering Lee Daniels was her friend and confidant. And so it's low key saying your man is gay. Or that's how she took it.
Really, Monique?
Now, as y'all are watching right now who haven't heard this story, y'all going, they doing the same thing in the studio. They going, okay. That is exactly what happened. Now, I said to the team, how does that uplift our community?
Are you saying what to the germ chaser thing? He was around at a time where HIV was very prevalent and people were passing away from it. And he was a very sexually active person. And so he would go into adult spaces like looking to catch something. He would do things unprotected. So
I said, sister, and her name is Jasmine. How could you ask another sister that? Well, we just planned. I said, tell me the joke in that because I don't know what you're insinuating. Then you're involving people that have nothing to do with nothing. Like, what are y'all doing? So I said, I'm going to call my brother. DL. I'm going to call my brother. I call DL Hughley on the phone. I say, hey, baby. Yeah.
Huh?
That's how he responds. Yeah.
Did he know it was you?
Yes, because they called him to let him know Monique's going to be calling.
Right.
Like this, it was getting crazy.
Right.
I'm like, just let me get on the phone with my brother, right?
Yeah.
Hey, DL, yeah. I said, listen, I just got off the phone with your team, and they wanted to play this game, Would You Rather? And it was like stupid, like asking me about my husband and Lee Daniels and Corinne Steffens, and his exact words, well, that's how we do it. I said, DL, how does that uplift our community? And again, I don't know what y'all trying to insinuate, but brother, what you doing? Like I said, that's just how we do it. So it is what it is. Now, it got so ugly that my attorney had to send a cease and desist. So it never aired. So we have, like, when Cat Williams talk and people, truth tellers talk, we have receipts to everything we're saying. That's how that whole thing got started. Okay? It's family. My husband is my family.
Yo, I mean, I can actually... I can side with Monique here. Is it a game? Who would you rather? But considering that you used the person that she knew and you knew that there are, allegations out there about her husband, it does kind of make your guess the butt of the joke. So I side with Monique on this so far.
Yeah.
Now, you babies that are really good with this internet, through the years, I've watched DL speak ill of me. Through the years. I never knew DL Hughley had a problem with me. But when Cass said they all a group, he forgot to put DL Hughley in the group. Mm-hmm. Through the years, I was bitter. I was dangerous with what I was doing, saying that it was inequality. My husband didn't know what he was doing. This went on through the years. I was unloved, all of these things. And I said to myself, I'm going to see you. I'm going to see you. I didn't go on nobody's show. I didn't say nothing to nobody, but I knew the time would come that I would see him. We were scheduled to do a show in Los Angeles. I was the headliner of that show. His name was on it, then his name came off. I didn't question it, but I knew I'm going to see him, right?
Eventually.
Okay, now we have a show in Detroit. Contractually, I was the headliner. DL Hughley posted a memo. Now, when you signed your deal for the Ravens, did you sign a contract or a memorandum?
I signed a contract.
You see how you say that? Like anybody that knows good business.
I don't want nobody to tell me they're going to see me. Because the Baltimore might come out of Monique. She looked like she can scrap. I don't want to see you, Monique.
Business. You signed. The memo was saying this is what I would like,
right? But
the contract is saying this is what it is. Okay.
Yes.
He put out a memo to our community, and that touched me a little different because I was saying, why would you lie to our babies? Because now they're thinking if they send somebody a memo, that's what they're supposed to get. Mm-hmm. Okay. I was contractually signed to go as the headliner.
Right. I mean, you go last.
DL Hughley didn't come into the building until 9:30. Now, contractually, I said I have to be on stage by 9:30 because if the show starts at 8, I refuse to keep an audience waiting.
Right.
That is disrespectful to the audience.
Correct.
When I went out on that stage, Shannon,
let me give you a little taste of what Monique did on that stage, y'all.
do you suck the dick of a coward?
She was talking about DL. She said, how do you suck the D of a coward? This is exactly what this set it off. They already having beef, but she went on there and ethered him. How do you suck the D of a coward? I feel bad for your I think she said your daughter and your family and your wife. But that's a little taste of what she did on that stage.
Made sure everything I said, he heard me. Because now you're here and I'm going to say it to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I said some things on that stage that I said he was cowardly. And some folks said, how could you say that? How could you do that? And then I posted some things to say, this is what I meant. See, you came after my husband.
Okay, y'all. So what she was talking about was this.
Child. But that same man goes on his radio show and talks about people as if he was sitting in the meetings, as if he was making their life decisions, as if his opinion mattered in their choices. So when I say, listen, y'all, it was important for me to make that post. When you start addressing the character of the man, when you really look into what is happening, when a man says, I was not strong enough to defend my daughter against a really, really good friend of mine, because I didn't want to jeopardize the friendship. Though he apologized, you have to ask yourself, what kind of demons is that man dealing with that he couldn't stand up to the predator of his child?
Now, this was some deep stuff, y'all. This was some deep, deep stuff.
Of his child. But that same man goes on his radio show and talks about people as if he was sitting in the meetings, as if he was making their life decisions, as if his opinion mattered in their choices. So when I say, listen, y'all, it was important for me to make that post. When you start addressing the character of the man, so many little girls out there with daddies like DL. Okay, so let me address it.
Oh, no.
When y'all are asking me, is it okay to re-traumatize his daughter? Listen, y'all, let's stop playing this game. There's nothing I could say or do to re-traumatize that baby because the trauma has already set in. However, if we speak it out loudly and we say it to our community, maybe the next baby won't have to deal with the goddamn trauma. See, when I made that post, it was intentional. It was intentional because there are so many little girls out there.
Okay, so that gave you the context.
And when you had a chance to fix it, when you had a chance to say, Mo, my bad, you know, we don't even get down like that.
Right.
You told me it is what it is. And until he's brave enough and courageous enough to say, this is what really happened, y'all. Y'all have never known me to be no shit starter. Folks ain't never known me to go over and kick a sandwich out of somebody's hand that's hungry. But what people do know is if you kick me, damn if I ain't gonna kick you back.
Right.
Because that's fair play.
Right.
So there was one left out the pack. And when you have people that continually don't take accountability, that's why you see us in the state of affairs we're in.
Yeah. I'm a firm believer, Mo, that everybody don't play the same. And someone once told me, what is joke to you is death to someone else.
What is joke? That's why we don't play with people's families.
No.
When we had the Monique show, the radio show, listen, you can't come on here and speak ill of no one because we don't play like that because we know how this business works.
Right.
So when you allow that to happen, what do you think is going to come back your way? What do you think? And DL Hughley, please, no, brother, we still love you. Just take accountability for it. And we move forward.
I remember reading some.
What does accountability look like, though? What we know she wants, what, 30 million from Tyler Perry? She said when she did her math about Tyler Perry, she said she was making $2 to $3 million a year. He got her jacked up, blackballed, and so she wants that times 10 years. So It's around 30 million she wants. But I wonder what she wants. Is it just an apology? We got like 1,500 people in the chat. Definitely hit the like button. It's a free way to support the channel.
Something about the situation in Detroit. I didn't know the depth or the magnitude of it. I remember reading something about a memo about, I guess it's an addendum that was added on, but the contract is the contract.
The contract is the contract. And what happens is because of the messenger, it was easy to pile on.
Mhm.
It was easy to pile on. And then when you have some of our black folk that go sit in front of a white man and speak ill of their people, I'm like, y'all, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we coming to that we're going to sit in front of this white man? I can't even say his name.
She's talking about Vlad, y'all. She threw so many shots in this interview. She's talking about Vlad. DL does a lot of interviews with Vlad. I believe Vlad does pay people for their interviews, and that might be why DL does so many of them. But yeah, she was throwing a lot of shots. If you don't remember what she's talking about, at the time that he was getting ethered on that stage, DL wanted to be the headliner of a tour, and Monique said that was her tour. So I think let me see if I have it up already. I did have it up. Okay, here we go. So Monique said she was supposed to be the headliner. DL said he was supposed to be the headliner. So DL decides to post this. I'll share this, make it bigger so you guys can see it. He posts a memo, which we all know memos aren't necessarily your contract. You might have an addendum in a contract, but for the most part, if Monique's contract said she's the headliner, that's what it is. DL posted this. He said, after this, I don't want to hear no mo about this. Here it is in black and white. The only thing blacked out is personal and bank information. It said, pay attention to headliner. It does say DL Hughley, highest paid artist on the show. Artists to have approval of lineup of the show, DL Hughley closing, receipts, opinions. I got everything that was stated in my contract. Everything, but let's say I didn't. My beef wouldn't be with anyone but the promoter and or my team, and I'm damn sure wouldn't make it personal. If you have a problem, take it up with management, and by that, I mean yours. Again, taking a shot at her husband. Now, she already said, y'all heard what Monique said. She feels sorry for your wife, that she got to suck the D of a coward. If you're just coming in here, let me see. I hope this ain't the cursing part. Here we go. We'll try this one.
Of a coward. Coward. You suck the dick of a coward.
Let's see. So that's the kind of stuff Monique was saying about him. So they were both technically talking about families, y'all. But I digress. But you can see his memo. So Monique posts her contract. It says, there were some of you who were fooled by the smoke and mirrors of DL posting his deal memo versus his performance agreement. Here's my performance agreement, and here are emails and texts confirming that, as per usual, I'm going to always keep it real and honest with my people. If you notice, mine has signatures and DL does not. What type of ironclad agreement doesn't have the signatures of the participants involved? Apparently DL's. Now, you told me to check with my management, and this is what I came up with. So how did I do? Perhaps you should have taken your own advice, because I'm sure your team would have advised you against trying to pass a deal memo off as a contract. To those out there who thought a deal memo was the same as a performance agreement, especially some of the comedians, this is how we're constantly taken advantage of by the business. And just so you know, the promoter already told my team before the show that you didn't have a signed agreement, and that's why I'm not surprised you're using a deal memo. So that's what Monique was talking about with Shannon.
I refuse. Everybody know who he is. We sit in front of him and we just let this man say any and everything about us, and then we go right in with him. That to me is dangerous. Mm-hmm. And y'all babies that's good with this little computer, don't take my word. You can just go through the years of this cat just running his mouth. Mm-hmm. And it's like, stop doing that, because what are we saying to the babies coming behind us?
We're going to continue this, but I want to get into where you're from, the DMV.
Yeah.
Do you realize, like, Chappelle, Martin, Tommy Davis?
So he wanted to shift. But let's hear what DL had to say in response to Monique.
Shay Shay is getting messier and messier. It's almost like Wendy Williams didn't go anywhere. She just got a weight set. So Monique.
Now you don't play with Shannon.
Monique was on. Every time I see Monique these days, she's on doing some greasy ass video with her and her daddy complaining about something or working out. I don't know nobody that work out that much and gain weight unless every crunch you do has got Captain in front of it. But apparently,
this is what he's talking about, y'all. Now, we all know Monique is not the same lady that she used to be. Monique has lost a lot of weight, but all's fair when y'all are fighting. But Monique does not look like the old Monique. She don't. Just FYI. Don't be doing that to my Monique. I love Monique. Monique is my favorite female comedian other than Samore. I love those two. Anytime I can go see Samore in concert, I will. But I digress. Let me.
Shay Shay is getting messier and messier. It's almost like Wendy Williams didn't go anywhere. She just got a weight set. So Monique was on. Every time I see Monique these days, she's on doing some greasy ass video with her and her daddy complaining about something or working out. I don't know nobody that work out that much and gain weight unless every crunch you do has got Captain in front of it. But apparently she goes on Club Shay Shay and tells the story about how she came on my radio show and I wasn't there at the time. And my co-host Jasmine Sanders played a game that we played all the time with everybody called Would You Rather. She apparently was so offended by that she said she got off. She called me. Monique did, and she said I was very dismissive, like, Monique's a liar. When Monique did call me, I heard her complaints. I listened to her, and I pulled the segment. So if I had been as dismissive as she alleges I was, that segment would have.
You caught that, right? He did call Shannon Wendy Williams. Now, Wendy Williams sitting at home in Florida talking about.
So now why am I in it? And you could have did it.
See how I get wrong because you never apologized.
Wendy Williams was not pleased with that.
Aired. It didn't because I respected her wishes. She's a liar. It's also befuddles the shit out of me how somebody who has a comedian talks as much shit about everybody else as she does. She has the temerity to be offended about anything as much shit as you say about people. Then she encouraged everybody, allegedly it stems from the fact that I used to always talk shit about her on video after video, and she encouraged her sweet babies to look at the video and find them. Do that. Do exactly what she says. And you know what you're not going to find? You're not going to find any evidence of that because Monique is a fucking liar. She's lying about that. But what you will find is Monique talking shit about some alleged contract dispute we had. Look at the ticket. It says D.L. Hughley, then Monique. She knows the story. But what she did in response to that, she talked about my dog, my wife. This broad even brought out my daughter's personal trauma. My daughter was molested, and Monique brought that shit out and told the world that I allowed my daughter to be raped in front of me. The lying motherfucker. She knows she was lying. And it only stopped when everybody from my family checked her. It's interesting. You know what else you won't see?
Now, y'all know, I come... Y'all at this point, y'all know how we do. If you're new to the channel, definitely subscribe. But y'all know I bring.
Do I need to bring the receipt, baby girl? Because I got receipts.
Here we go.
See, on Boulevard, and Boulevard is always a word. I don't fuck about the way me, and I like to consider myself a woman of honor. So I've got to do something right now publicly that I did publicly, and when I something up, I've got to fix it up. So I'm going to take care of that right now. Okay. To D.L. Hughley's family, I want to publicly apologize if I hurt anyone's feelings. There you go. To his wife and his baby, if I hurt that feeling, because that was never my goddamn intention. I never meant to hurt See, when we motherfuckers, and motherfuckers on the world, I don't fuck about the way me. Yeah. And I like to consider.
So basically, she did apologize for her comments. I don't know that we've ever seen DL apologize for his comments about her, but I can definitely appreciate her apologizing, because Monique is a person who's been very vocal about the fact that she was taken advantage of as a child too. So we don't know what part her being triggered played in that, but there is something to be said about re-victimizing a victim. I can kind of see both sides. The other thing is speaking truth to power. This one was a tough one. This was definitely this one was a tough one, but okay.
Monique doing? You won't ever see her with her family, videos with her children or grandchildren, because nobody fucks with me. How do you have sweet babies when your own babies don't fuck with you? How do you love us for real when there's no evidence of anybody loving you for real?
Now, I'm not gonna lie, I had heard some things about Monique's older son not necessarily having a great relationship with her. I did hear that, but he was going in.
Except your daddy, who you apparently have to pay. And FYI, daughters are paid for by daddies, not daddies who get paid by their daughters. You know what else you won't see Monique doing? Telling jokes. Monique, if she just spent as much time actually writing jokes and writing her Netflix special as she did complaining about not having one, it wouldn't have been trash. It got the worst reviews of any Netflix special in history, because that's what Monique does. She complains and she has grievances. You never see her being a human being. You never see her being sweet and warm to people, except when she's using it to butter somebody up to get something. There's a reason why everywhere she goes, shit starts. Everywhere she goes. How is it that nobody fucks with you, not even your family?
Okay, so somebody said she said that today about her son because of her traveling career. That's not what I heard. I heard it was something more personal as to why, but you know, you hear things. But yes, I had heard that prior to what she said was the reason as to why her and her son aren't as close as she would like.
Family, how do you, or I was on the road getting it. I get it every goddamn week. Look at my schedule versus yours. See how much I'm going. And I still manage to have a relationship that I cherish with my children. Can you say the same? You can't. Because all you do is talk about your grievances and who did you wrong. There's a reason you're by yourself. There's a reason you got to pay a man to love you.
Oh, Lord. Yeah. I'm expecting Monique to come out with a response any minute, because these daddy jokes that she's making.
That was not expected.
DL said,
I said what I said. Okay.
That one was a tough one, DL.
It's sad. There's an old adage that says you can't buy love. It's a shame, Monique, that you probably always will have to. Well, Club Shay Shay is getting messier and messier. It's almost like Wendy Williams didn't go anywhere. She just got a weight set.
Now, Shannon is not going to respond to that, but I bet you what will happen. I bet you DL Hughley will be the next one on the show, or he's going to get booked for that show pretty quick. I bet you DL Hughley will be on that show. Comedians now know going on Club Shay Shay can redefine your career. I can't tell you how many people just from this alone are now Team Monique. Now, I always like Monique, and I did believe Monique was speaking truth to power with Netflix, and I felt like she deserved to get paid. We'll get into the Oprah stuff tomorrow, 8 a.m. when I go into that, because y'all know I have to come with receipts, facts. She done set me on a path to finding a whole bunch of stuff. So that's why I couldn't do the whole thing today. Blessings Hot Topic says, never piss off a Pisces. DL is pissed. That's how we get when we fed up. There is definitely a war. It was a whole 160,000 viewers. shout out to Shannon Sharp. He's one of my favorite content creators, podcasters. There's just something about that guy that makes you feel like you know him. Like he probably is everybody's uncle around him. He just has that down home. He's not pretentious. He's just who he is. And I think that's what resonates with people about Shannon. But imagine if they got Kat, Monique, and on Club Shay Shay together. Nobody would be safe. Nobody would be safe. But I know Monique had told some of these stories before, but there was something different in the way that she delivered on this particular interview. A lot of people used to feel like Monique was just complaining. She was biting the hand that fed her. She was, just too much. But I see people turning and kind of siding with her. And we all know what's going on with Tyler right now and Oprah as well. So I think Monique was like, let me go ahead and just push people over the edge. Let me just push the people over the edge. Now, Monique, I didn't even realize Monique had done this, but Monique posted this about DL Hughley.
Called them hoes, nappy-headed hoes, and they weren't hoes. But it was some nappy-headed women on that team.
If y'all don't remember, Don Imus called the basketball team of women.
From Tennessee, they all look cute, so like kind of like a, I don't know, Spike Lee thing. Yeah. The Jigaboos versus the Wannabes. Yeah, that movie that he had. Yeah, it was a tough. Do the right thing. I don't know if I'd have wanted to beat Rutgers or not, but they did, right?
It is a tough watch. More look at Rutgers. They look exactly like the Toronto Raptors.
Called them hoes, nappy-headed hoes, and they weren't hoes.
Y'all remember that? So I don't see this ending anytime soon. And this is just the first 6-7 hours. That video is going to do probably 10 million views. If you get 160,000 people watching you live and you're already at 1 million views within the first few hours, this is a video that's going to keep giving. But I'm going to be doing my research tonight because Monique gave me a lot of homework to do. So that will be coming tomorrow at 8 a.m. This was just one part. Monique, I hope that I can do all the homework she gave me in one video, y'all. But it was a lot. Measurement says she delivered first as a teaching lesson. Strike while the iron is hot. Maria Lewis, I'm off. It's a work thing. Thanks for the super chat. Thomas Braswell said, oh, hell, he did it now. She coming for him now. Now, that was an older clip that she had posted. This was when they were in the heat of their battle. But the battle is just getting started. Monique is going to respond to him. He then talked about her paying daddy. The official time. I'm here for it. Team Monique. More people are now Team Monique. Now more people are Team Monique. Mims, what you think about Monique stand up for Roseanne Barr telling black folks she is not a racist and she is her sister? I didn't know that, but Roseanne Barr is trash in my mind. I don't like her. I didn't hear that. Somebody else said, what did I think about her Netflix special? As a fan of Monique, I liked early Monique, Queens of Comedy. I Could Have Been Your Cellmate. She did a movie called Fat Girls. I was one of Monique's big fans. Everything Monique did, stand-up shows, I would go see. I thought she was like really funny. Now, as she, I guess got older and her viewpoints changed, I do feel like some of her stuff is more like preachy on stage. And I like kind of like raunchy Monique, the one who was saying skinny bitches was evil and that what did she say? Skinny bitches need to learn that a big B will take your man. She was talking about swinging from chandeliers. I thought like Monique was hilarious. Definitely one of my faves. She's changed, but I still watch some of her old stuff. But anyway, I gotta go. So I will be back tomorrow, 8 a.m. and we'll be discussing more because she went in and I gotta pull up receipts. So y'all have a good night. I'm gonna see y'all later. Like the video on your way out. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. We're now on our way to 125,000 straight shooters. If you don't know, we are called the straight shooters. So y'all have a good night. And I do see a lot of people saying that they love DL. That's why we give both sides of the story around here. All right, on this channel, we give you both sides because we think with both sides of our brain. So y'all have a good night.